I want to share with you a very powerful formula which explains a very powerful concept in the area of personal development. And this is how it goes. IA plus AA, the whole thing multiplied by A, is equal to individual human performance. Let me explain. Inborn attributes plus acquired attributes, the whole thing multiplied by attitude, the way you see life and the way you respond to life, the attitude is equal to your individual human performance. And that's what leaders are interested in. That's what a parent is interested in. How do I drive the performance of my child? And that's what every organization is looking at. How do we drive the collective performance of a team? But let's first understand, how do we drive an individual performance of a human being? And to explain this concept, I want to share a very powerful story which I heard many years back. The story is about three lions which are in a jungle. Now we all know that lion is the king of the jungle. But what if there are three worthy lions of equal size, equal strength? How do you choose who's going to be the king of the jungle? And this was the dilemma in that jungle. And so the assembly of animals got together and they decided what would be a fair way to determine which out of these three lions should be crowned the king of the jungle. So they thought a fair way to do that would be to have a race, and there was a mountain peak close to that jungle, and the group of animals decided together that the fair way to judge which is the king of the jungle out of the three would be to have a race between all these three lions, and the race would be towards the peak of the mountain, and the lion which reaches the peak and comes back to the jungle first should be crowned as the king of the jungle. Now the day arrived, all the three lions got ready, and there was this race. And all the three lions took three different routes to reach the peak of the mountain. The first lion, it was the fastest amongst the three, and it reached almost halfway through the mountain, but not up to the peak. And it realized it did not have the strength to pursue, and so it looked at the mountain in a very dejected manner and said, "Mountain, you defeated me." The second lion went further than the first, and people thought that maybe this is the lion that will reach the peak and win the race. But even this lion, even though it went further than the first one, it could not reach the peak. And at some point it looked at the mountain and said, "Mountain, you defeated me." And the third lion, which was the slowest amongst the three to start, it reached further than the other two lions. It was inching closer and closer towards the peak. And the animals thought maybe this is going to be the lion that is going to reach the peak and come back, and this would be the king of the jungle. But even this third lion looked at the peak and it realized it did not have the strength to reach the peak. So he looked at the mountain and said, "Mountain, you defeated me, but you have reached a final height. I am still growing. I will come back and conquer you." Now, there's a very powerful lesson in this whole story. And the lesson is, the thing that differentiated the third line from the other two was attitude. Attitude, my friend, is the game changer. Let me encourage you. What is that mountain that you are staring at? Maybe it could be a failed business. Maybe it could be a failed product that you are struggling with. Maybe it's a big setback that you have experienced in your personal life. Maybe you are having a challenge of bringing up your kids or your teenagers. I don't know what that challenge is. It could be a midlife crisis. But whatever is that challenge, I want to ask you, do you have the attitude to look at that mountain and say that for now, maybe you defeated me, but I'm still learning. And because I'm learning, I'm growing. So I will come back and I'll conquer you. And that would be the right way to prepare for a comeback from a setback.